is the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Today is October 10, 2024. It is 5:30 p.m. and we will bring this meeting to order. Before we begin, I have to address the fellow commissioners. As you know, and when you got your agenda, Desi is no longer with the City of Trinidad. So until we have a remedy, this was relatively, just a week ago, whatever it was. So haven't had a chance to figure out how we're going to do the workaround. But I got to tell you that graciously enough, City Planner Nick Mason is actually going to be speaking with us this evening. But he's agreed because there's other things that go with not only the preparation of the agenda, but we've got some tech things that we had to do. We had to get speakers on for us, and this building has to be secured once we're done. Yeah. So he's going to assist us with that this evening, and by next meeting, I hope that and a lot of other things are going to be put together. So tonight, in order to help and facilitate this thing as we go forward, one, I'm going to ask that everybody speak clearly and loudly. And in fact, I better turn on my recording on this. Everybody, please speak loudly and clearly, and let's speak in order as we go, because I have to not only conduct the meeting, I still have to do what I did normally at the clerical work. Tonight, Vice Chair Luis Lopez is going to assist with taking the roll call as we get to the business items. So that's it, and as we go, if there's anything in there that I overlook or something, please call it to my attention, because the preparation for these is a little bit difficult, not let alone trying to run it and then do the administrative work. So as that goes forward, again, if I make any errors or there's something lacking, please bring it to my attention. So proceeding on with the work session this evening, item number 1 is a Trinidad Opera House LLC a loan request, which we received in an opportunities in the past. Now, I did provide to everybody information, and in some cases, the information I know that I provide may be redundant, but I try to continually give on the updates. I do give history as far as what the matter involves. So you're going to see a lot of stuff that sometimes it's, I already know that and whatever else, but I'm doing it, I am creating, a history as we go. So the Trinidad Opera House, we've been working, I think, since it came to TURA originally, and I brought it on the agenda April of 2024. And that at that time I brought together what was the initial and preliminary information on it, and we've been working on it going forward. And it was the hope and somewhat of the intent to have all the loan preparation and everything come together more than one time in the past few months. Most recently, we thought we would have it for this month, but there have been some changes in circumstances. And so this evening we have with us Lisa Evans, who represents Dana Crawford with the Opera House, and also architect Paul Glenn is here as well. They will give us information, updates, and opportunities to answer any questions that we may have. So I guess we begin. Lisa, would you like to come forward?
Sure.
Test that mic.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So good to see you again this evening. Thank you. So Paul and I were just talking, but Ed, when you and I last spoke, so a couple things. We have created a 501c3 nonprofit to help facilitate some different grant opportunities. We also applied for a State Historic Fund grant, which we won't know if we get that until December 15. And we applied for the maximum of the $250,000. However, we met internally again. As part of our grant application, we had an estimate from Drury Brothers Roofing to come out and at least do some temporary roof patching, ice and water shield along the parapet, all of this to get done now or in the next several weeks. I'm waiting to get schedule confirmation from them so that we can at least, hopefully before snow flies, knock on wood, get some of the major breaches in the roof and the parapet at least temporarily covered. So what Paul and I were just talking about from a timing standpoint, we may be able to move more quickly than when you and I last spoke. So we now have Paul's structural engineer's estimate that we've got to review and sign off on. That engineer will then complete his work. Meanwhile, Ark Valley Construction, who we have been working with for months on this project, Paul has completed his drawings such that Ark Valley is pricing everything on Paul's drawings, so that hopefully when they get the structural engineer's drawings, they'll just add that component. So as we stand here today on the 10th, it's ideally, we might be asking for a special session just to solidify that budget, but no later than your November meeting is when we would be looking for final approval. We would be delivering to you prior to that meeting final costs so we can do the final loan amount. If you guys approve, it's nice that Nick's here because we would submit for our permit. And then however long it takes Ed, the board, and us to get the loan closed, which I think working with the bank will be easier than maybe where we were thinking in the summer. But hopefully then the loan closing and the permit would line up such that conceivably we could maybe be starting still in November. That's possible. It's if what we as I explained to you, we had teed up the Urban Renewal Authority loan to be part of our matching dollars for the grant. So if we end up moving faster on the loan, then it's up to us to find other matching dollars for the State Historic Fund grant. You're all looking at me. Does that make any sense?
It does.
Okay. All right, are we open for questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Lopez?
Lots of moving parts.
Yes.
Usually that's traditional in this type of endeavor. So I've been doing that with the county rehabilitation of our courthouse for the past 8 years. So basically the 140,000 is going to be assisting you one way or the other. However you guys decipher, that's
right.
how you're going to move forward, whether it be for the match of the grant or for the initial construction basics roofing at this point.
Well, the basic roofing, that estimate, I hope the guy is right. We've worked with him before on the East School. They're a good contractor. It came in quite reasonably. That's why we're going to pull the trigger on that now, in advance of the loan, in advance of the grant. We're just saying we're done. I just went through the whole building myself. Luckily for me, I have a really poor sense of smell, so it didn't faze me in the least. But I am told by others that it is fragrant, aromatic, fill in the blank. But yes, it's key that we, cover up, and it's really just temporary patching until other funds are
So the
coming in.
question I have is about the sidewalk.
Yes.
Has the city given you a timeline to get that opened up and repairable, or are they kind of been working with you as they know we're in this endeavor?
They've been working with us, and quite frankly, we also spoke with Mike Valentine and asked that the alley be closed. The whole parking lot behind the building is available for parking. And so I don't know who owns the red Jag, but I don't think I would park it there. I would maybe pick some other locale.
I'll move.
Okay.
Sorry, it's in the way.
So how long's the grant looking like from the Historical Society for that to get, because I know they take a while.
They take, right, so if we are approved on December 15, I've been told it takes them until February 1st before they would have a contract executed. And I'm told that once that contract is executed, then my matching work can go.
Yeah, so
But-
that first infusion of money, 250,000, you said?
Yes.
And the 140 is gonna basically get available to get the building started of getting repaired and opened up. and-
Yes, yes, the 140, your loan is definitely geared at I'm pointing like I can see it out the building, but I know it's, that northwest corner and dressing up the covered walkway, making that
That's all I have to.
decent, yeah.
Sure, Dick.
Looking forward to taking a tour of the inside. Albeit the smell.
If you have a good sense of smell,
I-
wear a mask, but,
I'm worried about that part. But I am interested because I am interested in the before and after.
yes,
You
yes,
know, walking by that building for the last 3.5 years that I've been here, you know, I kept saying to myself, wow, when are we ever going to fix this thing? The town could really use that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm glad to see that you're being proactive with the roof, because then it does show good faith that you're putting your own money into doing that, you know,
yes,
before anything else,
Right.
no matter what happens. So,
right.
yeah, that's basically it.
Not really any questions, but comments. So just, you know, I don't think any of us are opposed to having another meeting or whatever to make sure that we can do whatever we
Thank
can
you.
on our part.
Thank you.
And so that way, but again, we'll leave it up to everybody else, but I don't think anybody's opposed to that. Like I said, as everyone has said already, we're looking forward to this too, you know, and
I know.
we'd like, once I think we get some footing on this and some traction, I think things will move along pretty good.
Yes,
So those are the only comments, but.
yeah, no, thank you, and Ed is my main point of contact, so I appreciate Ed very much. That's-
Okay, Ed's questions time. Okay, so we're looking at an amount that the request on the table, $140,000.
Correct,
$140,000 is inclusive of taking repairing the northwest corner,
yes,
okay, which are going to be the hard costs of construction,
right,
to include soft costs, which are
architecture,
architectural and whatever.
structural engineering,
And then load costs incurred by Trinidad Urban Renewal.
exactly.
So that should all fit in. One of the reasons that we are on this particular delay is because one of the challenges that just recently came up is that floor beam
Yes,
and the flooring in that immediate area.
yes,
Okay, so without those being repaired, then that actual building part, because, you know, the foundation of the house kind of a deal. Okay, so that too comes part of it. And I think I mentioned it in the agenda notes to everybody, that's a concern. So that particular component of it, where does that sit? Is that going to,
so that's what the structural engineer is going to be designing. Is
Okay.
how we can at least shore it or brace it or you know, hold it in place sufficiently so that they can work to do the masonry.
Okay, so if that part will be done sufficiently to be able to make
Yes.
sure that the facade work, or not the facade work, but that actual
Yes.
corner will be able to, it will be supported by that. It's
Right.
okay.
And another key element to the northwest corner, which has always been part of the request to the Urban Renewal Authority, is there's a scupper and some drainage that occurs the way the building stands today. The bulk of the water that hits the roof, snow or rain, all flows down to that corner. and just sits there. That's much of the problem. So as part of the masonry work that's gonna get done on that northwest corner will be a scupper to get that water at least out of there, so it's not, if you almost picture like a pool that just keeps, and you can't see it. You can't see it from the street, you can't see it from the back of the building, because as the building rises up and then it kips back down to Main Street, so it's hidden behind the decorative parapet. But that will be, with that scupper, that will relieve the water that's been pooling there. So with the beam braced and with the masonry done and the scupper, we should have a much, a stabilized condition. And then as we continue to do other work and build.
So is it gonna be possible for the stabilization on that floor area with that floor beam? And what is that, is that, where does that all fit within, and then the soft costs, is that 140? If it exceeds that 140, then what's the plan?
Well, if it exceeds the 140, if there's any chance of any adjustment on that number, if there's not, then we will probably try to then work and have our timing match up with the State Historic Fund grant, if we get that. So that would be.
So the exterior work, if you want to call it.
Yes.
Okay, that is contingent upon that beam being fixed, because without that beam stabilized, replaced, whatever the process is going to be.
It has to be.
That corner would have a limited life or future.
Right.
So, and then again, I guess the artisans that are gonna be working in there, that would create a problem for them. So it's a must.
It's yes, it is key. The one lucky thing is that beam is not right at the north wall of the Opera House. It's actually set back roughly 6 to 8 feet back from the front wall of the building. But yes, it's as long as it can be braced or not jacked up, but sometimes you see those metal posts, right, with the adjustable, I should say. So as long as that can stabilize it so that the work can proceed, that's key. I mean, just so you know, Art Valley also is including, safety protocols, barricades. I mean, there's other stuff that will be in their number, but Paul has been working closely with them so that hopefully, their costs plus the architectural, plus the structural, plus loan, legal on your behalf will fit within that 140. So that's.
Okay, and we've discussed, because, and you all have copies of that stuff. So there is a bond required in there, and you indicated.
That was for the State Historic
Right.
Fund.
So,
yes.
okay, so that part, well, it's in there in the overall initial preliminary budget, as it's put in there. When it comes to quantifying the numbers for the loan part, since we're not on that part, the grant part, I'm gonna tell you ahead of time, I think that needs to be backed out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and any part of
Yes.
that, there's also
Yes.
a part in there that includes the cost for the builder's risk.
Yes.
So and honestly, it falls with something I know about.
I know. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I again, what portion of that $10,000 then would be allocated
yeah.
to that? So, and again, I realize those are just rough
That
numbers
was rough.
on a visual, yes.
Yes.
So, I'd like to be able to refine those numbers going
Absolutely.
forward.
Absolutely.
Comes another question now. There was, and it goes back to, and that'll be my next topic on the agenda, but there's been a foundation created, the Jaffa House.
Oh,
Jaffa
yes.
Opera House
Yes.
Foundation
Yes.
created,
Yes.
which will enable you as a 501c3 to go after those funds. Okay, so how does that dovetail over with the Opera House?
So-
Is there going to be a change, or deed and titling and everything going forward?
That's, at the moment, I don't want to contemplate that. So the building is still held in the ownership of the Trinidad Opera House LLC, which is a for-profit entity.
Right.
We have not transferred the building to the 501c3. It's just two separate things. So how I equated this to is for the work that Urban Neighborhoods is doing at the Fox West Theater, we have Urban Neighborhoods Trinidad LLC, which is a for-profit entity, and then we have the Fox West Theater Alliance, which is the 501c3. So it's a little different, but it's similar. So I haven't wanted to move assets or anything like that. So I'm comfortable with still doing the loan with the for-profit entity. I don't think there's any advantage of doing it with the nonprofit unless that is something that that's out of my
Well, and
tax.
Yeah, and I understand, but it's a
Yeah.
question that comes because there's an application for grants under a 501c3. So if that's out there, so
You
Can
mean
you-
with
well,
TURA? There's
no,
a-
you
no.
got the grant
Yes.
application with state historic funds.
Yes,
Okay, or is it History Colorado or state?
it's the State Historic Fund.
Okay, so there's a nonprofit that's applying for those funds to go to a property that it doesn't have, you know, again, I'm not an attorney, so, but the question does come because there's a nonprofit applying for money to go to something that is a for-profit, so how does that work?
Look, from the time, if we get the award on December 15, if we have to make any change before funds come forward, we've got time to do that. I mean, the similar comparison is the Fox West Theater Alliance is raising private funds for the Fox, and they don't own the building. So it's again, it's I'm not a lawyer, I don't play one on TV, I'm not a tax person, but yes, what you're raising, Ed, is something that has been spinning in my mind, but the issue hasn't been forced, so I haven't been pushing it. I've been more focused with Paul to get the structural engineer moving so that we can get our valley to give a firm number.
Okay, well, and so I'll add another to that too.
Yes, yes.
So the loan that we're looking at is going to be made by Five Star to Trinidad Opera House LLC
Yes.
with financial guarantee by Trinidad Urban Renewal, which then we have a guarantee, and we're going to be a second position on a residence at 919 Park Street.
Correct.
Okay,
That's
so
correct.
in that part where that loan is going to be created by the bank to the Opera House, which is a for-profit entity at this point, is that going to have any effects?
Not that I'm aware of, but these are good questions, so things that I can get working on.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah, I don't wanna, last thing I wanna do is get to the finish line and have something,
Right,
jump
and
up and bite us.
as well as us.
Yes,
That's why I look at that, because
okay.
when the
Excellent.
501, obviously we provided the letter of support, because,
Yes,
all money is good money.
thank you. Yes,
But-
yes,
but-
thank
Yeah,
you.
well, as that, if you want that to come to fruition, because, going into that building is a great reason to get it. But with that, then it raises the question, is if you're gonna, do they allocate funds or grant funds to an entity that has no equity interested or whatnot? So again, a question to be
yes.
answered by legal counsel.
Yes,
But
yes.
a question that I did have.
Okay,
Or do have.
perfect. perfect. No, that's excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it has popped up in my mind, but, you know, we were really working hard to get the grant application in, which the deadline was October 1st.
Yes.
So we just got it in, and thank you for the letter of support, because that is very,
Okay, any questions of us?
no?
Did you want to add anything, Paul? Did you?
No, I think Lisa hit it all on the head. The plan is to get the beam fixed. That's what we're waiting on the structural engineer for their price to add in to get that included in this project. And the whole idea is to try to get it shoehorned into the 140,000. And then the roof and the grant seems as though it's a separate entity, but the 140,000 that TURA would be loaning would be towards getting this corner fixed. And as Lisa indicated, part of the original scope of this project was to get that corner of the roof fixed. That is why this thing failed, as well as, the step back of the storefront. But so that would all be part of this project. The one thing that came up that was a wild card was the beam in the basement. We felt that really needed to be addressed because it is the safety factor for the workers that are going to be doing the work. And that's where that came from, kind of at the end hour here. But the whole idea is to get that done. The facade, the walkway parapet that's on there, kind of dressed up, is now an alternate because we think that's really, we want to get the beam fixed, repair the corner, structurally get that thing stabilized. So, and I think Lisa hit it on the head that right now the for-profit, the nonprofit can happen later. The idea is to get this repaired as it is right now, otherwise it just complicates the whole matter.
I have one more question.
Yes.
And this is, well, you've been there, you've seen it. There, just as a safety precaution, because you want that corner, but there are, or were bricks, I don't know, I haven't looked yesterday, but on top of that walkway roof, there are bricks and other debris that have come down that maybe need to be removed. They're sitting there loose right on top, right at that corner.
Okay.
And obviously the wildlife, their intrusion has probably caused them. So there's some actual bricks laying on that rooftop. And, they, I can tell you that they've created some ire on social media in the very recent past. So probably for the good of the building and the reputation at stake, maybe that stuff can be cleared off. There's like 3 or 4 bricks up there.
Okay.
But they are, they're above that, and there's been a lot of public comment on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So part of the scope of that project is that corner of the walkway is going to be removed. They have to get that, you can't do the work there just with a bucket lift. So that section of the walkway will be removed in order they can get their scaffolding. So when that happens, those bricks will be gone as well. The chain link will come down. The panels, the sandstone panels will come down as well. The whole idea of pulling those panels off is to create a template and its reattachment that can be repeated for the balance of those panels once the major renovation starts.
I have a follow-up question for, I don't know, maybe you might know, might not know.
Okay.
With this being issue now, it's probably going to take some funding to, it's not what's budgeted for this process. Does the developer have the availability or the means or the funds available for any excesses of this 140,000 for this phase to come, so there's no hiccups on that?
Right. These are things we are constantly working on. Paul just informed me of the structural engineer's cost, so I will be working on that tomorrow. But it's we're trying to manage it so that we don't have any hiccups, so.
And I don't remember, but I think there may have been a little contingency in the original budget that I gave you for this. But the whole idea was to take the sod parapet out and replace it with this beam. So it's, the parapet was to make it look good, and this is the parapet on the walkway itself, to dress that up a little bit. Take the lipstick off, bid that out as an alternate, and try to take the money that we now need for the beam and put it into the 140. So that's the plan. There was a little contingency in there. I think what you need to know is we're going to stabilize that beam. The minute we start replacing or remodeling, we trigger a whole bunch of things. So the idea is to stabilize it for now, so the workers can get the work done on the outside. Then when the whole renovation starts, the first phase of that, the structural stability of the building, that piece is already done, and we've created a template for it. And at that point, that beam would literally get replaced along with some of the other structural issues throughout the building. I think what an important thing to do, to mention too, is we recommended that roof get patched, at least for now, dry it in so we don't have any other issues around the rest of the building. So I think it's great, get Drury Brothers out there, patch that. That by no means is gonna be the full fix.
Right, it's not.
It's a Band-Aid right now.
Yeah.
That roof needs to get reconfigured. There's, from day one, design back in the late 1800s, it was going to fail because of the way that they had water draining into, back draining into parapets and things like that. So,
I have another question. All the different moving parts that I see, and I know that you all have your assigned areas and going, are you overseeing how does this factor in? You got Arc Valley doing their thing. Who oversees them? Is that your?
That's us, yes.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So,
Because I just want to see how that.
yeah, part of our services to Trinidad Opera LLC and Urban Neighborhoods is that we will oversee, so we use the AIA forms for payment and a continuation sheet, which is a breakdown of all the different disciplines. So when Arc Valley goes out there the first month and they do $25,000 worth of work, we'll go certify that. We can give it to you, you can give it to the owner, and the bank that's standard protocol in any construction project.
Right.
The bank would take a look at that, understand that that's certified, and pay that portion for that month until the.
And FYI, what is given to us will be going to Ayers and Associates. They will give the approval, they'll look at it and say, okay, sure, there it is, and goes to Five-Star Bank. Five-Star Bank will pay
Yes.
the contractor when those draws are requested.
Right. And that's all standard, it's the way.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that, as far as.
Somebody's doing it.
Somebody's looking at
Yes.
Arc Valley and
Yes.
just instead of the building inspectors and, different ones.
Right.
I just kind of wondering, who's looking in on it. You obviously now,
Yeah.
so.
We last year finished the East Street School.
Mhm.
Arc Valley was the general contractor, Paul the architect, his firm.
And then-
Paul came and did the reviews.
Mhm.
And then on the financing side, that was me working through that, so yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
Good. That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no, it's good.
All right,
It's a check and balance. That's a great question. Yeah.
okay, look forward to hearing some more.
Yes.
You know where to contact me on
Yes,
this.
yes.
And then, yeah, we'll put it in, so we'll get this thing together to go. I think we're as anxious to see it happen as you.
No,
I think
look,
you-
we appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate
Very
everything
much.
you guys are doing. I think the only thing I would add is that normally, like once we can, in order to get the process expedited, we can't get this. And once we get structural engineers, notes back, we get them on the drawing, we can get them for permit right away. It doesn't have to, just get it in for permit, because you normally have a year, right, Nick?
What's that?
For a permit, plus a 6-month extension. We don't anticipate it going anywhere close to that. But the sooner we can get in for permit, the better. To kind of expedite the process.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your traveling down here.
No,
It
it's
takes
good.
travel to get here. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no,
Thank you all.
no, thank
Our
you.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Item number 2, the Opera House letter of support. I think I've touched on that a little bit. I did provide everyone with a copy of that letter in the agenda. Because of the timeline that was involved, obviously there was, took a poll and everybody agreed with it, so that was done, and it was hopefully that the Opera House Foundation will be successful in getting those funds to assist in taking that project forward and wherever it takes them. Any questions on that?
That's good.
Item number 3, preliminary budget 2025. We had this discussion last month. Did present it so we can get going forward on it. A couple of adjustments. At suggestion of Commissioner Howlett, he did mention that there was an expenditure. We should create a line item for the position that is to be created and hired here hopefully shortly for an assistant planner. I did provide everybody a copy of what that job description is, and you'll note that TURA is mentioned in there, so very looking forward to having something like that happen to assist TURA with things going forward. So the numbers have not changed. Those are still, based upon what I'm estimating or what I think is going to happen at year's end for those numbers. So those didn't change. That number didn't change in any way. It's just that I allocated $12,000, and I had discussion with Nick prior to that. He provided the information. So, actually a little bit less than we thought, but that's the 2025 allocation toward that position. Going forward, there may be others, but that's where we're at on that. Mr. Howard,
Had
one of them days.
my son had an accident and we had to, and I was out of touch, so
Thank you for being here.
I'm here.
And I hope all is well.
Sorry.
Hope all is well.
No computer, no nothing, but I'm here.
All is well. Thank you. We're at the budget point, and you probably had a chance to look at it when I sent it to you. And all I did was add, all the numbers are still the same. They still balance out the same way, except that I created a line item for the grant contribution for that assistant planner. $12,000 is what is estimated, or the number that is provided by Nick Mason. So that's where that out. All the other numbers come together. So if this is agreeable with everybody, going to work diligently to have this as a public hearing item on in the November meeting, and then we will take it to final adoption in December. It has to be done by law by December 31st. And I do get the little email reminders from DOLA telling us that has to occur. So, any other questions on that? Any changes you want to see happen? Or
I think that was the only thing brought up last time.
Yeah.
Was that.
All right, so I will draft it going forward to take it forward. We can adopt it and be legal by end of year. Item number 4, the planning grant position. We are fortunate tonight to have City Planner Nick Mason with us.
Good evening. Like Chairman Griego said, we're moving forward on getting this out. We got the job description all put together. We're gonna put it out in-house first to see if there's anyone in-house that's gonna protocol procedure, and then if there's no takers, we'll put it out to the public. And I'm hoping by your next meeting in November, I'll be here with someone else and get them introduced to everyone, and start getting you guys a liaison and some desperately needed extra help. So it's looking good, and any questions you guys have or anything like that?
Mr. Hutt.
I love in-house hiring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have some really great folks in our staff already. What sometimes they miss is they don't have the education.
Yeah.
And they don't have maybe the certificates and qualifications, right?
Yeah.
I would really like the city to start saying, then can we help them get the education, the certifications, and the qualifications?
Yeah.
I would love for us to figure out who wants this job passionately and then invest in them.
Yeah.
You know, let's nurture our local folks. We suffer from brain drain so much because somebody's got to graduate from our schools and college, and then got to go someplace else for their education. And so I'm really encouraged, and I hope we can help facilitate opportunities for some of our younger folks to have these kind of jobs and be in these positions and raise families. So
Yeah.
I'm more interested in giving bigger points to people that are already on staff and looking to grow than somebody outside
Yeah.
to get here, because many times we end up being a stepping stone
Yeah.
to some other place where you come to Trinidad, you stay for a little bit of time, and then you leave because and so my only thing is, if we don't have somebody qualified, can we get somebody close to qualification and invest in them?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
That's definitely my thinking. That's why we go in-house first, to see if we give them the first opportunity, and if we find someone that we think is going to be a good fit and that's driven and really
it
passionate.
just needs a little bit, right?
Yeah, and
just
it
needs a
might be
little
lacking
bit,
some,
right?
But
Okay.
if they'll get trained up, and some of that, and I mean, we just hired a building inspector, and we had none of them came in with a building inspector license, right? So we said, well, who's the most driven? Who's the one that's passionate? Who's the one guy that comes and says, I love Trinidad? Because
I want to be
what
here.
really matters to me is
Yeah.
I want to be here.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm very much
Sure, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Lopez?
Good evening, Nick. Thanks for being here.
Of course.
and hanging out with us. Not really a question. This is going to be, I guess, a question, a full-time position, $52,000 a year, 25 an hour, but it says in the.
Yeah, I think it's at 52,000 or
And
something.
so they'll receive full benefits and
Yes.
package from the city of Trinidad, retirement and all that
Yes,
kind of thing.
yeah.
So, outside of in-house solicitation, where does the city of Trinidad put the next step for outside? Do they do Indeed? Are they nationwide search? I mean, to relocate to Trinidad for $52,000 a year isn't gonna.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's just, and it the money comes from how much I could spend in my budget, and how I appreciate you guys contributing, because it's a big beneficiary to me, because if not, I'd be really quite a bit lower than this, and then it's really hard to pull someone from out of town. And as far as going out, I don't quite know, because I haven't
The hiring
been not too much in the hiring process. So I know. Trying to think where we went with the building inspector. I think the building inspector, we even tried to get into some of the more specific, like building inspector, where building inspectors sign up for catalogs and stuff like that. But then again, they're still coming to Trinidad, and we end up hiring some local. So
Well, just another resource for you here in town is also Trinidad State College.
yes,
We've used them
Thank
at the county level for Department of Human Services to help some of our staff there. They wanted to enhance some of their, verbal skills and
Oh, yeah.
writing skills, and so they have taken some educational
Thank you.
classes there
Yeah.
on the county nickel.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
Yeah, so we helped them assist with that. So there's another
That's
resource
awesome.
for you. But
Yeah,
anyway, good luck.
definitely.
Good luck. Hopefully you find the right
Yeah,
fit.
yeah. I'm hopeful, and it's going to be a good thing, because it gets, like I said, it's getting everywhere.
Our chair is very helpful.
You want a job?
Yeah, there you go.
Ed?
It can't happen soon enough.
I got you. Yeah, I know.
That's we've
Yeah.
been waiting for this.
I got you. Yeah, like I said, I'm really hopeful. November next meeting, or even if there is a special meeting or whatever, hopefully.
Well, I'm excited about it too, and I just want to say that having somebody locally, they're more invested here. Like I said, hopefully it's somebody that's in, we don't have to go out of town like you're saying and kind of reinvent the wheel. The people here, we're already invested in Trinidad. I think it makes a good fit, and I did meet the new building inspector just yesterday. Actually,
Oh, is that right?
Came to our job site, and I asked for him, and Tara sent him over, and Nice guy.
Came over and shut you down, right?
No, he came by. He signed off. And I was that's a
nice guy.
Yeah, that's a nice guy. He was thinking about shutting his mouth. But yeah, he came in, and you know what? I had the highest regard for Kent Robinson and John Wilkinson both, and to see Jeremy yesterday, I said I think he's fallen in some good shoes, and he really likes doing this. I can tell. He
Hired
really likes
Jeremy,
doing it.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good kid, a good young man, huh?
And so I really felt good about that. So
Fantastic.
that's what I'm
That's great.
thinking.
That's great.
With that kind of hire,
Yeah.
that would fit right here, you know, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
I love hearing you say that.
Yeah, that's, I'm big on people that want to do this. And Jeremy's probably, like I said, he's the one that comes in and says, I love Trinidad. So I'm like, that's what I want. I want people that love this place because I love it. That's the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
So that's the type of person I kind of look for is someone that wants to be here and learn. Most important, want to be here and learn as fast as they possibly can to help as much as they can.
Nick, first I want to thank you for pursuing that grant.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there was a lot of time and effort put into
Yeah.
it. So I want to thank you for
Thank
the
you.
pursuit to that grant and to help create that position. You know, it's going to be helpful to the city in general.
It is.
In that department, and it's going to be helpful to us as well. You know, I mean, we're going to get them on board, and then there'll be other questions to be asked. I don't know if we can use him as director itself, or just going to be administrative assistant. But you know, it's good to have it. And one thing that when we talked about this one time, because we're talking about the direct number for the salary, but there's some other numbers that come into that for the position. So 52,000 is a salary, but there's also some ancillary
There's quite a bit.
costs that the city has to incur by benefits and everything else. So
Employee burden stuff, exactly.
yeah, so that number for 52 to support the position is probably another 20 to 30,000 bucks.
That's a very fair guess. Yeah, and we don't know because benefits swing if they're single, if they have families,
Right.
and all that stuff. But yeah, 20 to 30 is a very good rule of thumb there.
Sheriff, if I may add, there are things in business, we say this an expense, and there are some things we say that are investments. Now, things that don't bring you anything are expenses.
Yeah.
This position is an investment. Done right, this position will pay for itself.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So I think we all need to look at some of these positions is that they pay for themselves. So you don't look at just, you look at it and say, what can we do if we have that position? And in my mind, we will do really good things. This board needs it to do the work we want to do. And I think the work we want to do in blight, housing, those kind of things, we've been needing this position. So to echo the chair's position, thanks the city for making this happen, because we need it.
Happy to help. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. I appreciate you being here and picking up where that little missing link is at this particular time.
I
Thank you.
know. See, and that's another one. Des left Adola because great for her because it was a step up, but it's also like, man, it's really hard to lose her because she is very helpful. Not just to you, she helped me in planning commission. And then downstairs during the week, man, she was awesome.
She was a first round draft choice and actually a franchise player.
I know.
Your municipal
You could
judge-
build a team around that girl.
Yeah.
Okay?
Judge Nelson's gonna miss her.
Yeah,
a lot.
so-
She did well, and best of luck. to
And we're
her.
so happy for her.
Yeah, happy for her. That's for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
All right, anybody else that we got that one down? Item number 5, use number property update. Mr. Baker.
Yep, I had a little text back and forth with Carl Gabrielson, and he said he'd find out some information. So I'll just read his text. I just brought my phone in and said, he goes, okay, I just got off the phone with Tim Lamb, Kip's attorney. The update is all of the plans and paperwork have been submitted to the State Historic Fund. They are just waiting for approval for the commercial historic tax credits. Once approved, they intend to move forward ASAP with the facade, windows, roof, and minor interior remodel. I'm sure I can get you plans if they have not been submitted them to you all yet. I believe they are already submitted to the city for plan review. Told them thank you, and that's the update right now. It looks like things are moving. It sounds like the wheels are just starting to get going, and sounds like it's still the waiting game, but I think it's moving forward from what I can gather. And even from the last month, he's the one who wants to get started because he's the one who wants to get this stuff going. So he sounded like, for a few months there, it was kind of like same old, and I don't know, but now it sounds like it's going.
Nice.
Unless somebody heard otherwise, this is straight from Carl just 2 days ago. So
Thanks.
So that's it. Is there any questions or anything that outside of that?
Nothing.
Okay.
Appreciate you doing that.
Sure.
Item number 6, board vacancies. Ongoing question, ongoing topic, ongoing problem.
What if we offered like free chocolates or something?
Free bad advice. Okay. Item number 7, items for future discussion.
I really would like to start talking about 31 distressed properties that we identified months ago. And seeing how, sorry about that, and about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the city attorney was interviewed for an article in the Chronicle, and he shared that the city was looking at how do you deal with these distressed, blighted properties. And he said that the staff was looking into that. And I called our chair and said, why aren't we at that table? That's why you have an urban renewal authority for blighted houses, in order to get housing back on track. And the chair was so awesome to be able to come talk to him. I had an opportunity to talk to the mayor, and the thought is that we should have been involved in that. At least the chair should have been invited to sit at that table to talk about how do we take these orphan properties. In many cases, the owners have no interest in them anymore because it'll cost them more to bring them online than it will for a developer to have to do that. So I really want in our next phase, after we've done some of the work we've got right now, I would really encourage us to look at those. Again, I keep using 31, it could be 30, it could be 20. It was 31 at the time we were talking about it. So that's the number in my head. I want us to look at those properties and see how we use the toolkit that TURA has to bring those back online. Now, maybe it will be that we actually forgive tax debt to have those properties relinquished. Now, some people call that eminent domain. I'm just going to say
That'll have to go through the Board of County Commissioners.
I understand, but we have friends there, and they understand what we want to do, and nobody wants a blighted house on their block because it only reduces their property values.
Right.
It has a safety hazard, and they're abused, and so no one is going to say, no, I don't want that house and that property recovered. So we got friends that understand we're all in the same direction on where that is, but I want us to be more proactive in that, and I want us to identify where those are. When Keely Williams was with us, she was trying to help us do that. When Jeff was with us, he was trying to help, and I don't want to drop that ball. I think we're close. I think now, are we on the other side of the 50-yard line? No. But I want us to get there. I want us to start thinking about how we work with our partners at the county and how we work with our partners at the city to do the mission they set us up to do in 2015. Okay? Now, does that mean some of those encumbrances, some of those debts, some of those taxes end up being forgiven? I want us to have that conversation. Does that mean we fast track some kind of development on those properties? I would like us to have that conversation. Does that mean we what TURA's job is not to be developers, but to put properties in play where developers can take them in the free market, to where our banks can loan money on that stuff, our construction companies can build those things, maybe our Trinidad state can actually put people to that thing. Yeah, I think I'm for that. But I want us to get aggressive on some of the problems, because quite frankly, from the chamber side of things, if we do not address housing at all levels, none of the other stuff works. You can't attract businesses, people don't have a place to stay, you can't move folks in. So I would like us, after we've done some of the stuff on our plate right now, to get aggressive on those properties, and at least to the point where we may be able to think, get them at least building worthy. You know, and for lack of a better word, get them to where they're scraped and ready for some entity to come in and develop them. And I'm so passionate about that, because I see such a need in our community in the housing crisis we have. And Urban Renewal Authority used to be called Urban Removal Authority, because they just removed buildings. I think we can do that now and put people in houses that need to work at the city. The city, the county, the school district, all of our businesses have a hard time attracting employees to Commissioner Lopez, because we have no housing for them too. We pay them $52,000 and maybe they can't move here. But when they start looking at that, there's no place for them to move here. And we are a body that has a toolkit to be able to address that. I know I'm talking over. I'm really passionate about this. I joined this board to do this. I joined this board to do this work, to address the blight in our downtown and the broken tooth that we have, and then to actually do the work that we can do to get people in housing and increase property values on streets and areas. And so there was way too much information, I understand, and I apologize, but I'm really passionate about us attacking that in an aggressive manner. Thank you.
Okay, so to move that forward, on that note, I would recommend that we, future discussion items, we invite Los Animas County Treasurer Donna Leonetti to our meeting to show you the proper process, since we are a statutory run government for the county. It's a little different than municipality with the home rule. So she can come and do a full explanation of how redeeming or removing of taxes is done and what the process looks like. So I would recommend we do that.
Perfect.
The November meeting, we bring in the new planner assistant to come in and
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
and aggressively address our local contractors within the region of Southern Colorado and Northern New Mexico that are licensed to do business in here.
Yes,
And
sir.
bring in the developers or the contractors that work with those people. And those are the two things you just discussed passionately. Those would be my recommendations for the next steps.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Mr. Hick.
That was one of the reasons why I initially joined the board. We talked way back when about that,
Yes, we did.
and I am 100% behind you. Maybe not as passionate as you, but I'm 100%, because I think that's what we're supposed to be doing. I mean, what's the sense of having the money in the bank if we're not going to do anything with it? Which is one of the reasons why I was, again, 100% behind the Opera House project, because we're doing something. And when I talk to people out there, I'm relatively new to the area, when I talk to people out there and I tell them what we do, you know, they don't have any idea what we do. You know, and we need to show them that we can do things to help this town. I want this town to thrive, because I've got young grandkids that need this town to thrive. You know, my daughter's up in Denver and she's hoping to come back next year, and you know, I want the town to be something that they can be happy with. And if we can't get housing for people, and if businesses can't thrive, nothing good's gonna happen.
Yes, sir.
So, and I definitely want the school to be involved in this, because, again, I send my kids, I send them to the high school sends their kids to your school, you know, and if we have things for them to do to earn money and to be proud of this town, I think that's just a plus. So, that's it.
Well, you talk about discussion, I don't want to get too much in the weeds of that because we have it for future discussions. But I would like to just say, every day I go to work, my nose is rubbed exactly what you're talking about. But I had an interesting conversation with the city planner over in Durango. This is a couple months back. He says if we could figure out how to get rid of those liens against the properties and try to find relatives that are, he says, we'll be able to do that. If we can figure that out, you know, and get those cleared, we will be on the right there at the tip of the sword, because everybody's trying to figure this out. Okay? Being that we're taking these houses, and I've got 4 houses, and they're bad. I mean, they're really bad houses. The one that we did, the 5th house, which was an open house we had a while back, and the people were working right next door. We're in the community now. We're not over on Engle Street. We will in about a month. We'll be back over on Engle. And those folks love their house. And we're right next door, working on the house next door, and we have a great group of guys. We've got some high school kids. We've got 41-year-old guys.
Let's do it.
And so, they want to learn how to do this. We're fast tracking them so they can get jobs. So we're trying to deal with not only and the neighbors. They love us being there. They love us being there. So.
I took a drive in, I gotta go to the men's room.
Okay.
So anyway, I just want to comment, we'll have future discussions on that, but I would just like to say that I do this every day, but there's so many things that I'm up against the wall against, and I think, I don't know what maybe TURA can be involved in some of the stuff with the college, I don't know. And like I said, I don't want to be using this platform. All I know is that being here in this, while I joined, was because I was asked, number one, and I thought, yeah, I want to do something and help our community, because I've always been those are something for somebody else to do. Now I said, no, this is and it went right in line with what I was doing at the college. So how those can merge, I could see that. But there's so many different pitfalls. Even the Attorney General said it should be an easy thing, and I talked to him face to face when he was down here at our open house way back when. And he just said, oh, it shouldn't be any big deal. He's going to talk to, at that time was Mayor Rico. And I guess there was a lot of different things that kept him from doing that. So I'd be interested to see where we can get past those roadblocks. And I think we'd solve the problem for the country. I don't mean to say that, but everybody's up against it.
We have a better mayor now.
So, yeah, we have a better mayor. So, but that's all I have to say. We'll discuss it later.
Okay. Well, at some point, again, and this is understood, and I know this is an undertaking, so this will involve not only, it's going to take a lot of input from the planning office, inspection office, and everything else. So it's imperative, highly important that we're able to weave some assistance in here, because we bring this up, it then becomes for me to determine how to formulate this and get it on here. So once we get past the loan matter for the Opera House, then this can become the next mountain to climb.
I agree.
But for my part right now, it is a mountain to climb, and trying to get it to where it is, because it's been something that's ongoing over the months. So it's one that it comes with a lot of time investment, and there's a lot of things, and I hope my hope was that we would be bringing it all in place tonight, but that didn't happen. So once we get that in place, that will be the next challenge or the next goal that we can take on.
I like how you put that, next goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, at some time in the not too distant future, and we'll be addressing it. All right. Anything else to come for TURA in the work session tonight? If not, before we enter in, I was going to mention, again, speak loudly, speak clearly. Commissioner, Vice Chair, Luis Lopez will be assisting with the roll call this evening since we're short, and I will continue to do those things that I record as well. So again, assist by doing that. So today is October 10th, 2024. It is 6:37 p.m. This is a regular meeting of the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Item number 1 is roll call.
Bagley?
Here.
Heck?
Here.
Howlett?
Here.
Lopez is here. Grego?
Here. Item number 2, approval of the minutes of the September 2024 meeting. Everyone was provided with an advance copy. Hope you had the opportunity to review. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Commissioner Bailey with the motion to approve.
I'll second
Commissioner Heck with the second. Are there any questions or comments? Roll call.
Bagley?
Yes.
Heck?
it. Yes.
Howlett?
Yes.
Lopez, yes. Grego?
Yes. Item number 3, acceptance of the financial report. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the financial report.
Commissioner Heck with the motion.
Second to approve.
Commissioner Howlett with the second. Comments, questions? Just bring up that I think we picked up over in collections a TIF from last month to this month, $1,929 for a total year to date of $57,138. Yeah, we're doing great. This is probably the best year we have ever had for TIF.
Comment, 2025 is going to be a very good year for TURA. Very good year. We're going to do some amazing things. So to Commissioner Heck's thing, when people ask about what do you guys do, they're going to know in 2025 what we do. I love where we are.
Comment too. When I first came, which is a couple of years now, we had a lot of things out there, but we didn't have a lot of money. This is really nice to have this type of leverage right now. You know, be able to discuss what we were discussing. It was kind of lean. So anyway, thank you, Ed, for all your work.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call.
Bagley?
Yes.
Heck?
Yes.
Howlett?
Yes.
Lopez is a yes. Grego?
Yes. Item number 4, consideration of bills. We have one bill to pay, is Paul Benedetti for legal services for the month of September 2024, the amount of $390. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve. Paul is so worth the investment. Yes.
I will second that.
Commissioner Howlett with motion to approve, Commissioner Bailey with a second. Comments? Questions? Roll call.
Bagley?
Yes.
Heck?
Yes.
Howlett?
Yes.
Lopez, yes. Grego?
Yes. Item number 5, petitions or communications all over it. Anybody in the sitting audience that would like to address Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority this evening? There is none. Let the record reflect that there is no one that is addressing or desires to address Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Item number 6, old business. There's none of record. Item number 7, none of record. Item number 8, reports by executive director. We do not have an executive director.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, that one, we're not sure. There's going to be an administrative assistant. We don't know how that's going to.
We may have to change the word.
Well, to weave in with what the grant allows us to do with that.
So I actually believe Commissioner Heck has a good point there. Because if that's the case, I don't have a problem revisiting original documents to provide you with the help you need to do it. It's just a title change, just saying.
Well, one, a board member is not allowed to be the executive director by statute.
I understand.
Yeah, okay, so,
So maybe we don't have an executive director, maybe we have an executive assistant.
yeah, and so that person could come under that. That's just the way our bylaws are set up and how our agenda is organized. So, yeah, we can trim it however, it doesn't make any difference, yeah.
I'm just, what
Yeah, that's
Commissioner
right.
Heck just said is I'm 100% for.
Well, yeah, and that may be the case, and that would be nice to be able to do a report by Commissioner only. But anyway, I bring up two things. One, Commissioner Howlett and I have stayed in constant contact with Lisa Evans, trying to get this matter of the Opera House loan negotiated and taken forward. I think in principle, we've got everything there. It's just to get everything to finality to be able to bring that here. So we will continue to do that, and hopefully the outside date on that is going to be next month's meeting if all the stars line up the way they should. The other thing I just want to bring forward and advise everybody is that every November in Pueblo, they hold the Southern Colorado Summit. Pueblo Urban Renewal organizes and hosts it. So everybody should, if you get emails from
Downtown Colorado.
DCI, Downtown Colorado Incorporated, it should be one in there. And then we just need to determine, if there's a cost, TURA will cover it. We'll just have to determine how we get that done in advance, or it have to be a reimbursement. But it's a minor, for TURA members, it's a minimal amount. So if anybody wants to do it, there is.
I think if we can, we should.
Yeah.
When is it?
I don't remember the date in November. I have to take a look at the let you know. But and it is a very, very nice symposium.
We can learn a lot from Pueblo.
Yes. Yeah, that's.
Or you are.
Yeah, they are one of the most successful in the state. They are one to, you want to model yourself, that's one to do.
Yes.
Okay, that was all I had. Reports by commissioners. Commissioner Howlett?
None.
Commissioner Lopez?
Don't have really much to report tonight. A lot of activity with all the finalizing my responsibilities as 2 more months to go as a
You mean
county
your great
commissioner.
service to the community.
So we're trying to roll all of those things into it and get all the obligations I've committed to finalized. And it's been a whirlwind. It's been like, holy mackerel, what are we doing here? But a lot of excitement with rail, a lot of excitement with development, urban renewal here. We got a lot of excitement going on. So property taxes is the big one that's on everybody's mind at the county government because of the recent special session. But I will report on that to you all. It won't affect Los Angeles County. We're not going to see a decrease in your taxes. It's mainly for the metro areas and their special districts where they'll see a decrease. But it was it was a decrease on the increase is basically what it was, but it won't be affecting us in the rule setting.
Nice.
Commissioner Hack?
That is a good report.
Just want to mention to you, with my other hat on as middle school teacher, tomorrow is homecoming for Trinidad High School, and we will have a whole bunch of events, including a 1 o'clock parade, which I think might be interesting. I'm told the mayor might even be there.
News to me.
But I would encourage anyone that has the opportunity to come down to the high school. We're having a big assembly at 9 o'clock, and then they're going to have the parade at 1 o'clock. And it should be fun, and again, it's all about building the town up.
If I may, the day I closed on my house when I moved here was the day of the homecoming. And so I closed on my house and I went downtown and I said, Dan, Pat, you're lucky. It's such a great thing to have a community that has that kind of event. So I hope people show up. How do they do that? Because those kids sure deserve
You thought they were all celebrating your house? You just
Nah. Just, I thought it was a community you'd want to invest in.
Yeah.
I think so.
Commissioner Bailey?
I don't have anything, thank you. You pretty much summed up everything with that latest or last thing.
All right, then item number 10, motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second it and yell through it.
Who's taking second? Commissioner Heck?
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Howlett with the motion, Commissioner Heck with the second. There are no dissenting votes. We will consider this meeting closed at 6:46 p.m.